Hi everyone, Estella Thompson here. I'll be leading a class called Work as Worship. Watch this promo video to learn more, and I hope you'll join me. Thank you.
In my position, there are times when I'm faced with a hard decision. Do I do what's right or I do what's expected?
It was not uncommon for me to work 60, 70 hours minimum every week. Financially, we were in a very comfortable place. It was becoming increasingly more evident that I had no life left.
I had passion for what I was doing because in my heart, I really wanted to help people. But the truth was, I was exhausted and I wasn't having very much fun.
I'm working as a medical scientist for pharmaceutical companies. Being in corporate America, it's a little difficult sometimes to bring up the topic of God.
I kind of ate, drank, thought about investment banking. That was my identity. But I knew deep down inside that there was something else. There's got to be something else.
Here's a concept I'd love for you to really just to kind of wrap your mind around. Work as worship. What if you saw worship not as something you simply did in a couple hours at your church on the weekend, but you saw your work itself as an expression of praise to God? When work is worship, you work exceptionally hard, but you're doing it as an act of faithfulness to God. Think about this, especially if you're an employer. You are responsible for crafting one of the largest sections of your employees' lives. The quality of their lives in many ways will depend on the environment that you create for them, because that's where they're going to spend more hours than anywhere else. My challenge for you is for you to think about your work right now from the perspective of eternity. How are you going to wish that you had viewed your work?
I think with any job is meant to be used as worship to our sovereign God who has placed us in that position.
There's so much about putting others first and the greatest commandment that is consistent with building great product. I am in business in order to save people time and money, and that's an orientation that fires me up every day and every morning.
This is my job. This is honoring Him by raising these children and hopefully doing a good job to raise them.
I've often thought of myself as being a missionary, but a vocational missionary. So I think about myself at the workplace as being God's representative there.
Hi, I'm Caleb Richardson, and I want to share with you about our Adult Bible Hour class that's going to run for the whole summer. It's going to run June, July, and August, and it's called Good to Great in God's Eyes, 10 Practices Great Christians Have in Common. And it's going to be taught by different teachers each week, so I'm really excited for all of us to get to hear from different people, maybe some people we've never heard from before. But the topic is, what does it take to be great? And some of you may push back on that immediately and say, we as Christians shouldn't desire to be great. And I would say yes and no. Yes, we shouldn't desire to be great in the same way that the world desires to be great or unbelievers desire to be great. But Jesus, when his disciples come to him and say, well, hey, I want to be the greatest in the kingdom of heaven, he doesn't say that's a bad desire. No, he just turns it on their head what it means to be great. What does greatness look like? And so for us as Christians, we should all desire to be great, but maybe our definition of greatness needs to be turned on its head. So that's what we're going to be looking at this summer. 10 practices great Christians have in common. How do we become great Christians? It's going to be awesome leadership and personal development stuff that we're going to be going over. I'm really excited for this class, and I hope you can join us this summer with Good to Great in God's Eyes, 10 Practices Great Christians Have in Common.